Recording in progress. Welcome to the first SBAC meeting of 2026. That's I don't know. That's, yeah. Yes, and we have a new mayor, we have like a new administration, we have, we're looking at new members, so that's gonna be like a focus of this meeting, and also talking about events we've done and breaking them down a little bit, and then future events, rides specifically. And we have a very, we're going to do a postponed icebreaker because Paul pointed out that David Bowie's birthday is on the 1st of January, which is when we would have met. But we had to put it off because it's New Year's Day. 1/1, right? 1/1/26.
His birthday is today.
Oh, I thought that this, anyway.
It was postponed to his birthday.
Oh, I thought we were, I literally thought we were postponing our celebration of his birthday that was on January 1st. So now that we've got that logistic
Like, do I say anything?
figured out, yes, you do. Thank you very much. We're going to say what our favorite David Bowie songs are. And the rule is that Paul has to go last. And so because you have like a whole thing. So this was your idea, so you're gonna hear everybody's response and then you get to go. Unless you have any objection.
Okay. I'm a David Bowie super fan.
I know, that's why I feel like we gotta kind of like save you for last, if that's okay.
It's the 40th anniversary of the Labyrinth movie.
Make sure this song is
David Bowie was in it. I watched that.
Well, we'll leave the ex officios for last. No, before last. And I guess you know what? If there's no objection, I'll start and get myself out of the way. I have two, one song and a collab. And my favorite David Bowie song is Life on Mars. I relate to the character with the mousy brown hair and sort of enjoy the like Alice in Wonderland vibe of like the visual, it's a very like visual description, evocative song that I appreciate, and it's a banger. And then the other song that I like is I'm Afraid of Americans, which is a collab with Trent Reznor, object of my high school desire, and David Bowie, and they make this amazing music video. So I'm Afraid of Americans featuring Trent Reznor and Life on Mars. And I'm the chair of this committee. And I'm Ward 7 resident. Yeah, so let's move on to Ted.
Yeah, that was a great, bit of creative question. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Space Oddity just because I think I like the message of the song. I think it's about breaking boundaries, and exploring the unknown. So
agreed. I see Adrienne representing on Zoom. Hello.
Yeah, I'm Adrienne. I live in Ward 5 and would say Let's Dance. It's kind of a fun party song.
Agreed. Glam was a big part of it all. Glam and fun. And Kat. Or Catherine. See, which I need to know. Can I settle the score in my brain for once? Catherine, are you Catherine and then Kat? Okay, so Catherine, you prefer. Okay, Catherine.
Full name, Catherine Lang, David Bowie fan. I just turned off my radio to come on Zoom when they were playing Bowie for like the whole day. My two faves are Young Americans and Suffragette City.
Excellent. Also just bangers. Alex, you're up.
Ziggy Stardust all the way.
Yeah. I mean, these are all popular songs for a reason. So it's hard sometimes. I mean, Paul's gonna find it easy, but niche stuff, it's just all good. Let's see, who else do we have? Tom.
Tom, he's Somerville resident. As a Tom who considers himself somewhat major, I've always been partial to Space Oddity as well.
That's good. I agree. And you carry your dog in a backpack, which feels like kind of like space oriented. I don't know, spacey. Amanda.
Hello, Amanda, Ward 3 resident, and I'm also a Ziggy Stardust fan. I also like Young Americans. I was just looking at lists of songs. I'm like, is there anything in there that like might pop out at me? But I'm gonna stick with those.
All right, and for our ex officios, Greg.
Greg Hannafin.
Your well-researched favorite.
Greg Hannafin with the Mobility Division. Admittedly, a David Bowie novice, so I'm going to jump on the Space Oddity bandwagon.
Yeah, take your approach.
Only Tom here can
put
do
your
it.
helmet on. And Rashika, what about you?
I'm gonna say I don't know David Bowie songs. I would say like I know the song, but I don't know if it's by him or like.
Right.
So
have you been inspired by all of this to listen to
I
David
have.
Bowie?
Yeah, that's what I'll say with me.
Okay, that's good.
Good work.
We'll come away from this, and then that leaves us with Paul.
I'm gonna go with Dollar Days off the final album.
Oh.
I was gonna
And
say
what's the
Life on
name of
Mars,
it
but that was
again?
taken.
What's the name of the final album again?
Black Star.
Black Star. Okay. Black Star. Yeah, it's good. It's very good.
This is
Excellent.
now all on the record.
Yeah, no, this is all on official record.
favorite
I
David
think
Bowie
we were
song.
very thoughtful, and it demonstrates
Skip
great
forward
character.
15 seconds.
Well, all right, that was great. Thanks, everyone. I think we definitely have quorum. On the agenda, I don't know if we want to put up the agenda. We have a new mayor, which is exciting to change up on the agenda. Our new city council ex officio is going to be John Link. And we already talked to him a little bit, and he's enthusiastic about that. And, you know, it might be nice to have a city councilor that is new and wants to, like, be more participatory in, you know, attending meetings and, you know, making that bridge between SBAC and the city council. You know, because I think that has been lacking, not in, like, a super bad way. It's understandable. There's lots of meetings for them, but I look forward to kind of connecting with the new administration, and I'll slide in a little bit more about that later. And so
He has an urban arrow.
What's that?
He has an urban
John
arrow.
Link has an urban arrow. Excellent. Let's see, and let's just do logistics then. Get to it. Tom is acting secretary, and we are going to approve or vote to approve the December meeting minutes that Adrienne did a great job and uploaded to Box. So can I get a motion to approve the December meeting minutes?
I said motion.
Tom, and can I have a second, please? I saw, quick draw, Alex. Seconded by Alex, and then all in favor say aye or make your vote no and raise your hand on screen.
Aye.
Excellent. Meeting minutes approved. And so we're going to focus a lot on outreach, both what we've done and hope to do, and then more outreach in the form of new membership. And we'll be able to put together really nice slides. I scanned them before the meeting, and I'm excited to see it, get some clarity on that process so that we can attract new members. I think PTAC is going through like a recruitment phase, and so I think we've definitely got room on SBAC, and I think it's a good new year, good time. But first, let's recap the reason for the season, the Illuminations tour. And Paul is, going to talk a little bit about debriefing and what went well. I was there. I marshaled. I thought it was a great success. It was good amount of people that were managed very well on the ride, and we're able to enjoy just like looking at the houses without having to worry too much about where am I going. But I will save and let other people talk. And yeah, we've got some slides. Thank you for putting those together, Paul. You want to take us
So
through
we
the
had
tour?
about 275 people. We did not have any issues to speak of. Brian, the founder and president of the Illuminations ride, was happy. So I think it went well. Any other comments on this last one?
Did we know how many of these there have been? Was this the 10th?
You know, I
don't
asked
know.
him and he
Okay.
actually didn't remember.
Okay, well then.
But it's more than 10.
Okay, there you go.
So it might be like 15 in
Yes, and it has definitely grown.
that.
So managing the ride has become more and more complex, and yeah, I think Brian was happy to have help and backup.
We had every intersection and every turn had a human being stationed there. So it was meant to be a low risk event, which I think is important given it's dark and whatnot. So we've been discussing some ideas for future Illuminations rides, one of which is to vary routes, and we'll go through some quick ideas of some other routes on other slides. Another is to create some of our own illuminations in public spaces that are along the ride. We've been slowly losing some of the houses that go all out over the last 10, 15 years. So we wanted to maybe supplement some of the houses that are there and maybe help kickstart some renewed interest in decorating. We discussed flyering houses in advance, encouraging them to participate. Maybe having a large inflatable at the start location to sort of kick off the fun, and using our own website in addition to the Arts Council creating a Facebook page, which they do, but also having our own website to provide information about the ride. And then, do you want to shift that to me so I can push that down, or do you want me to just say next?
You can just let me know.
Okay, so this is the current route that has been done with small variations for as long as I've been going to the ride. I'm calling this the classic route. You can go next. This is a route that would start at the Prospect Hill Tower and go into East Somerville and end at Assembly Row. I'm calling this the East route. It hits there's a lot of great houses in the East. And next one. This is the West route that hits a lot of great things. The best being Electric Avenue, which is one of the top 5 illuminations in Somerville. For this route, it would be helpful to have the West Broadway project completed before we decide to do it. So if I am in referencing the city update slides that in my email, it seems like that could happen in 2026. So we could do this in 2026, or maybe it would be a 2027, depending on how that construction goes in 2026. Go next slide. This is a Winter Hill ride, and this ride would be helped if the Broadway Magoon project was completed, and that's still, I think, a few years out. But we have 2 other routes that we can do before that, so we can keep an eye on that project. The ending point here, I'm not really satisfied with. We'd probably find another ending location. We go next. This is what I'm calling the mid route. This would also be helpful to have the Broadway Magoon completion And this is it's in the middle of Somerville. And I think that's the last one. Can you click down? Click one. So this is for later. Those are some routes that I came up with to try to get to a lot of the houses that we don't normally get to do, but are pretty great. And those are just first drafts. So that's it for eliminations.
Yeah, any comments? Was anyone there that participated in the ride that had anything to say about that from that angle? I can't remember who else all was there.
I was there.
Yes.
Did people linger at the end?
Yes.
There was some conversation.
There was no like hot chocolate.
Oh no, there was no like.
I think we need to add hot chocolate.
Like incentive to hang at the end, but still, I think the location enabled people to hang more because you had the little cul-de-sac or whatever it is. What's the name?
In the past, we've ended on Lexington Ave, so you're in the street.
Yeah, you have to just disperse. So that I think just even having space to do it is good, and having something for you at the end is like the best, right? Yes, as a marshal, it was easy for me. I had 2 locations, so I was able to get from one to the other by taking some other little noodly streets pretty quick. And actually, it was fun on the way. Someone yelled out from their porch, "Is this the bike train?" And then he was like, I was like, "Yeah." And he said to his kids, like, "All right, come on, get your shoes on." I heard him be like, "You're gonna come out on the street and see the bike train." And it was fun to see the bike train because in the little noodly bit by like Pearson and Kidder and all of that, people are kind of going around and you can see them from from at least my vantage point and a couple other marshal spots. Everyone was very polite. All the participants said thank you to me as a marshal, even though I had a pretty low stress location. It was nice. Everyone on a group ride is very polite and very happy, typically. Alex, you counted, right?
Yeah, I counted. I did it at 2 locations. I had approximately what Paul kind of posted. We got very lucky because we got the holiday green line train. That was the only one in the fleet. That's I don't know if Paul, you arranged that for us, but overall, I like first of all, I thought it was great, Paul. Really well run. If we're gonna switch it up, I think there's some really great side streets, especially around like the Inman Square, Prospect Hill, Prospect Hill side streets that are well worth going. There's kind of a feature of also like how much of a hill we want to deal with such a varied population, but I thought the route works really well. But yeah, I think definitely feel like there's fewer houses that are partaking.
I like the idea of flyering, and we do have the Arts Council that is technically shares responsibility for orchestrating and advertising elements of the ride, so they're kind of a partner as well. I don't know how they track and find the houses that are going to do it. I'm sure they put out a call on their website, I guess.
There's a lot of houses that aren't registered.
Yeah.
In and going over these routes.
Yeah, I feel like it would be
great.
What's
that over there?
Yeah.
I think they do self-report. And I think in the old days when there was the trolley, people were more excited about getting on the route.
Yeah.
But now it seems like a little less excitement around it. So I wonder if you advertise there's going to be a bike route coming by possibly your house, that they might be more inclined to
and then encourage the bicyclists to deck themselves out as much as possible. So everyone is a spectacle. Everyone is part of the spectacle. And the other thing too, you were saying about getting together stuff to make our own features and inflatables or whatever. And I wonder if focusing that on the community path, if we tie in, I mean, I don't know if the other routes will necessarily, do any of the other routes tie in the community path?
Some of
Even
them
if
do.
it's other, like in one of the other
I mean,
ones?
for each one, we would just look at what public spaces are we going
Yeah.
to be on.
And then you could just set it up there, set things up, but it's nice to like line
We've
the
been-
community path.
We've been getting lights donations.
Yeah.
And I've been asking for some, and some people have donated lights. Then I discovered that lights are very cheap after Christmas. So I actually bought some at Home Depot. There's you have to have power or they have to be lights that plug into a USB. So it could be a challenge. If you have power, then we have like a lot of lights
Can
already.
you plug it into a variable message board and like have a variable message board on community path that says like happy holidays and then like light stuff from it? I don't know how they work.
I mean, we're open to like any ideas or
The
technical
city can
expertise.
supply one of the.
I did have one person who does like lighting professionally has reached out and said that she's interested. So we're gonna have a meeting and see what ideas she has.
Excellent.
So
Alex.
Yeah.
So, question to the committee: this is such a successful ride, and I don't know if it's gotten more. It feels like it's gotten larger each year.
Yes.
Why do we not do to the committee? Why do we not do a similar ride for Halloween?
Well, there is going to be a Halloween ride in Somerville in 2026, and there has been the last 2 years. It's organized by another group, Family Bike Ride, and that has 300 to 400 people. SBAC is welcome to participate in that as well. It's already a party in the box, ready to go. But SBAC could also do its own.
SBAC should be partnering with other, community entities, I'd say.
There's a slide later, but the 2026 Halloween ride is exclusively in Somerville and is focused on, it strings together projects that have been completed in the last 5 years. So it's got Washington Street. That's like towards right there. Western Washington Street, Beacon Street, Elm Beacon Connector, Community Path. I'm probably forgetting a couple, but yeah, there it is. I don't know if you can see that. That would start at the Prospect Hill Tower and go on these various pieces of infrastructure. I designed a route that tried to keep things on infrastructure like almost the whole time, and there's going to be a couple of cases where we need some interventions where we have to create a temporary bike lane. But this is showing the emergence of a bike network because about 90% of this route is on some sort of infrastructure, and we want to promote all the great work that the city has done.
No, that's great, Paul. Thanks. I'd forgotten about the family ride. I meant, I was thinking of we don't do a Somerville.
We could try to have one that appeals to adults without children, or we could make it clear that they're also welcome to this. I don't know.
I usually just
I like
want
the
to ride
family.
bikes. I'm just there to ride bikes. I am happy with whoever else is riding bikes, young or not. It's a bike ride. Everyone should love it. Does anyone have any other comments or anything to say about Illuminations Ride, the future plans for the Illuminations Ride?
If anyone's great at maps, I would love to have some GPS real-time tracking of where the sweep and where the lead is. We did some location sharing using Google Maps or Apple Maps location sharing, but would love to have something that put those on our route map or something that was sort of like a dashboard that we could use to like communicate with each other and monitor the progress. Because it's kind of hard when you're in one location to know what's going on in the rest of the locations.
Radar tags. We can ping from various locations. Yeah, no, I think this is great. I really do like the idea of switching it up, having it in different parts of Somerville. That's definitely going to increase participation. I really like the idea of flyering and incentivizing, like, you know, talking it up, hyping people up to do it. I like the idea of making sure we have some decoration, some good stuff for ourselves. And yeah, I think it's good that we're getting more involved in the ride, and I think Brian really appreciates it too. So yeah, everyone should come out when it's time, and I'm sure we can have practice sessions on the routes, come out, you know, as a committee for a ride, test it out. So yeah, that's very exciting. And I think what was next on the agenda is, like, if you have, Paul, I know you've been the most active on this, or anyone else from the encouragement group, a little brief website media update towards, you know.
I consider it ready to go, and I'm trying to track down Alan Moore to transfer the domain to us. And then after that, I will switch to the new website. So
that could be an action item for me. I can reach out to Alan. He reaches out sometimes. He comes to Streetwise sometimes, so I might even see him in person, corner him in person. Yeah, I'm excited about that, and it'll be really, you know, important so that we can advertise these upcoming rides and get that information out to people regardless of whether they have social media. And yeah, I wasn't sure then if it's oh yeah.
We got, I don't think we've announced it in this group, but we got control of the legacy Instagram account. So we're back there, and I believe Kat, that's just KHA.
Yeah.
Kat has the key, is in charge of that.
Nice, congrats.
So we keep all the followers, and I think one of the last pictures is of me and Alex Frieden's cargo bucket eating a piece of pizza from when we used to meet at the Somerville police station, and you had just gotten your Urban Arrow. Wow. Memories, Alex.
I love that picture.
Good times. Yeah, so I don't know if it's the holidays, like I'm sure like subcommittees were just like whatever, but if there's any other thing about outreach events at this point, feel free. If not, that's fine too. I think we did talk a lot about that last meeting.
I would say the only thing that I can add is that I sent Rishika a list of some of the events that we want to be involved in, and so we know which ones mobility will be organizing or coordinating on, and then the other ones I'll take the lead and maybe tap people to be like a lead person for one of the events. Like I know Amanda was interested in the Halloween one this past year, so maybe if we just like grab a different event this year so that we can each be like a lead on one event and then help coordinate for who's going to be volunteering, something along those lines.
That sounds good. Amanda agrees. Excellent. So yes, let's tie up the outreach and engagement part and move on to more fun procedural things. Yippee! We love procedural things. And the focus is on new membership. And this past round of new members was like the process of that was assisted by the city for the first time in, I don't know, the entirety of us being SBAC-Tom. Like we never had like, I mean, who knows, but we hadn't had a like facilitated call for membership before. So we've been through one of those now and we'd like to do it again. And so I think it was very new the first time, at least new to me in terms of like how that worked, and to meet with people and kind of have it be more interview style than just I'm interested and I showed up and I want to keep showing up. So it's a little more formal. And because of that, just to make sure that, you know, kind of how it was doesn't like, we need to like make the transition to how it is now and our understanding of that. So it's clear. And just to say, like, I appreciate very much the city's help in this. And it really helped at a time where like COVID had made events really, you know, impossible and then difficult. And we had like stagnant membership and people actually left. So it was this kind of like, you know, I mean, dark time, not a dark time, but like Tom kept it afloat. And like did such a great job during what I consider a difficult time. So anyway, I think it's important to talk about like how that works now. And Mobility has come prepared with some slides to kind of take us through what the expectations are and new rules.
Yes. And I think this is timely because we're, I think, approaching about 2 years since we started this process previously. Okay. So we've laid out kind of the major steps in the process for bringing new members on board. So the first thing that we have to do is draft the call for members. And I think it makes sense to spend most of our time today discussing that piece of this, but we'll go through all of the steps and then come back to that discussion. So first we draft the call for members and then get it posted. And there's an application period in which the application is open for anyone to apply. Once the application period is closed and we've collected all of the applications, we will set up an interview panel with city staff, so me and Rishka, and committee members to select candidates for interview them, and then review the interviews and make selections on our preferred candidates. Recommendations then go to the mayor for approval, and then the city council for formal approval, and then new members get sworn in by the city clerk. So I'll go through each of these steps in as much detail as we have, and then I think let's go back to the call for members and have some more discussion there. We split out for the call for members. There are really 3 different, I would say, categories of information that are included within the call for members. So on the left, we have the basic information, which is the number of positions that the committee is seeking to fill, and then some details about the position, the length of the term, if it's paid or volunteer, and then what the typical meeting schedule is. So most of these things are already predetermined. It's a 2-year term length. This is a volunteer position, and assuming the committee is going to continue to meet on the first Thursday of the month, typically. I think what the city would like the committee to discuss is the number of positions that you feel like you would ideally like to have. The only limitation that exists is what's in the ordinance, which is no fewer than 7 community members. Currently, the committee has 9, so you're already in compliance with the ordinance. Beyond that is, I think there's some wiggle room there. When we went, had a call for members in 2024, I think we ended up with 14 members, and that at the time was what the committee was thinking around that number. We would suggest aiming for an odd number, just because with quorum that makes things a little bit easier, but that's not set in stone. So I think that's one thing for the committee to discuss and come up with a number of seats that we want to open up. And then this middle, the expectations, that's I think really the meat of what the city will be looking to the committee to pull together. And this is the missions and the goals, what you would like to say to someone who is a potential applicant. And that's 2 or 3, each of these is, 1, 2, 3 sentences. A brief description of what a potential committee member should expect being on the committee, and then an estimate of the time commitment of being a committee member. And then the administrative information on the right are things that the city will pull together. And that's, what is the appointment process? What do we need to submit, which is, most likely just going to be a statement of interest, and how do we apply, and, what are the questions and who to contact with questions and application. So we'll come back to this for discussion, but this is, I think this meeting today is a good time to begin talking about the items on here. So once the call has been drafted, then it will be posted. And so the call will be sent to the city's communications team, and there are standard outlets that they post the call on, and those are all listed here. If we'll be seeking translation, then that adds an additional 3 weeks of advance notice before the call can be posted. And once the call is out, that opens up the application period, which has to be open for at least 4 weeks. If the committee decides you'd like to keep it open longer than that, then there's some flexibility there, but it cannot be shorter than 4 weeks. And once the call has gone out and been posted on those standard locations, then the committee can undertake additional outreach, reaching out to your networks and other community groups to try to get the word out and get as many community members, get it seen by as many community members as possible. And Rishika and I will serve as the primary contact for applicants. So we'll collect the applications and confirm, let people know that we've received them. And if any questions come up, they'll be directed to us during that application period. Once the application period is closed, then we can move on to the interviews. So we'll set up an interview panel, like I said, and that is typically between 3 to 5 committee members, including the staff liaisons. So we will, for each interview that is scheduled, we will most likely be looking for 1 to 2 committee members to participate in each interview. And it doesn't have to be the same person doing each interview. It can be, different people for different interviews. And we'll just make sure to take good notes and try to have a standard way of measuring the applicants. So we'll review the applications. The panel, everyone involved in the interviews will review the applications, determine which candidates interview, conduct the interviews, and then jointly we will select our preferred candidates. That then gets submitted to the mayor for approval, then again city council, and to formally approve the new members, and then they get sworn in by the city clerk. So this is again just a repeat of the first slide, but with some estimated time periods. So we should anticipate that once the call gets drafted and sent to the city's communications team, it probably takes about 4 months until new members are able to be sworn in. So that's just to set some expectations for the amount of time that it will take. So any questions on this sort of overall procedure before we go back to discussion about the call for new members?
Yeah, I just had one quick question. If we do translation, I mean, my French is somewhat there, my other languages not so much. So I'd love to see the committee welcome, people who speak as many languages as possible. But would that mean we could also get translation services for meetings if need be?
So we are still we have to figure out, what resources we have available for that. So I would say we will be able to provide more information about that in the future. But that's a good question, Ted.
Cool.
All right. So yeah, I think that this is at this stage of the process, this is really the priority for the committee to focus on. And what's highlighted in bold here, I think is where we'd like to begin. I think another question for the committee is when would you hope to get the call out, and when would you like to begin the process of member recruitment, and then we can sort of work backwards from there and establish a date for when we'd like this draft call to be ready to be sent to the communications team.
Sooner the better.
I think soon is good.
Sooner the
because
better.
It'll take
Start
4
getting
months.
more.
And it'd
Yeah.
be nice to have people in while the season's more active.
Yes, and it's warmer and more, stuff going on in general.
Is there a version of the answers to these from the last call that we could
So there is,
crib off of?
Yeah, I can pull up. So PTEC actually recently went through this process, and I can pull up what they put out as an example, and I think that it can be adapted for.
So we don't have our own from 2 years ago. We don't have our own version. It's not in this format.
Well, you wouldn't even have them. So I think we should all weigh in on what those are. I feel like it would be at least something we could do as a committee.
Yeah.
Get everyone's feedback. It's helpful for me too. I don't know if a little poll, literally just having what you think the goals of SBAC should be and are and continue to be. And we don't have to go around in a circle and say it out loud now, but I feel like unless we want to, or if anyone does want to gush about SBAC and its aspirational missions and goals. But it is good. I mean, anyway, maybe it would be helpful if we as a committee thought about that for ourselves, and then that would also then, kind of inform what we're looking for as well.
Well, for the number of positions, it seems like if we want to stay healthily above 7, and you did 14, you set a target of 14 last time. We're now at 9, then 14 is probably a good number to stick with.
Agreed.
Or you want to do an odd number, so I guess you could do 15.
15. Go for the
Although
max.
that's going to change.
Max it out.
There's no max.
Oh, there is no max. 15 is a good max. I
Is there,
think P-TAC has 15.
is there
so.
an age minimum?
I mean,
Like you have to be a certain age.
Is there, I was just curious.
Interesting.
I am not sure.
Infinity.
Once we set this number, like, if we don't get the applications, or the flip side, we get so many good ones, like, can we
Is
change?
that
Can we
new- is
contract
that
or
number
expand,
loose, or do you have
or
to
is it like set?
pre-specify?
Like we do 14 and we have to fill.
I don't believe you can exceed, so you open up a certain number of seats, and then if you want to open up more seats than that, you would have to put out another call. If you don't get enough, not able to fill the seats, I think that would be okay. I would have to check if those seats would count then against quorum or not, if they are open but not filled. That would be the only question, but
That seems true.
yeah.
Do we know, like, was it hard to get up to 14 last time, or was it easy?
It didn't seem.
Yeah, no, we have
like
enough
I don't think we
candidates.
heard back about it being an issue. So
Yeah, I mean, there definitely were, so last time it was a little bit different because I think PTAC and Bike Committee opened up applications jointly, and people were applying for both, like either committee, and then, so it's a little bit different than last time, but I would say short answer is no, but we didn't have to like reach to fill the seats.
Right, so we can put 15 for now as a draft number
yeah.
for our first draft of this.
Yeah, and I would say that the only consideration with the number of seats that are open is the number of interviews. So it's more of a committee commitment to spend time on interviews. So as long as that is not a barrier, then I would say,
Is there
go for it.
a rule
Was
of
there?
thumb- Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. That's a good question.
Oh, is there any rule of thumb how many you interview for how many spots you're trying to fill? Like, what's the overage of interviewees to the number of spots? That would help understand how many spots. And time
We
limit.
definitely want to interview more people than there are spots open. I think it remains to be seen if we have like a goal of the number of people to interview. But I mean, you could interview as many people as you want. If there's a lot of good candidates, you might, if you have 6 seats open and there are 15 strong candidates, you might want to talk to 15 people. I think that will be up
Depends
to
on what you
the
get.
interview panel. Yeah.
That's cool. So it sounds to me like we should start with the expectations and then make the draft of the call so that we'll collect what our answers are to those questions. And then draft a call. Just feels like it's a good order to do things in if you want to think about the goals and then write what you're looking for in a call for members.
Should we set the goal to have a draft of the call for next meeting, and then the committee could vote on whether to proceed with that at that point?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be deep to it. We can definitely just like share a document, say how we feel, etc., and just sort of you try to answer those expectations yourself, and then kind of how you feel the committee is or what you'd like to see in the committee, because that will affect anyone who's already on the committee. So good to think about. Again, new year. So that's good.
Yeah. Do you want?
We can do an action item just to say that we'll do that. Work on how we see the bike committee as it is and how it can grow, and then have a draft call for action, call for members for next month.
Yeah, and why don't I'll bring up, just as an example, the
Yes.
call that went out from PTAC in, I believe it was the fall. So they had they were seeking 4 new volunteers. And then this is, a 2-sentence.
Okay, so it's not a huge thing.
Yeah, 2-sentence description of what the committee is. What's the time commitment? They set a time commitment of generally 4 hours per month between the meeting, the monthly meeting, and then, subcommittees and other committee activities. But I think that that's something that, again, would be up to all of you for what you feel like you'd like to set for the expected time commitment. Appointment process is going to be, I think probably the exact same. And then they had an online application which linked to, they'll have some questions, a statement of interest, and other questions about the applicant. Many of which I think probably mobility will build out. So yeah, it's a pretty simple.
We don't have to get too deep about it.
Yeah.
We don't have to get too deep about it. Now that I see this, that's helpful. We can definitely have that for next meeting. Yeah. I'll do it.
Yeah, maybe we've got some.
I mean, and then I'll send it to all of you, and you're gonna have to look at it. Can't
If it
speak
is
for the entire
a good
committee.
use of time right now to begin talking through any of things, we definitely have some time on our agenda.
Just thoughts about like the difference in the process and like, is this an improvement? Do we think this is like an improvement on, kind of how it was? Just kind of, I don't know if anyone felt a certain way about going through the process as the guinea pigs. Any like feedback from y'all that went, how did you feel about the process? Or you don't have to like say, that's fine. But I can say from my end as someone who sat like with the panels, like I think it was still pretty casual. Like it sounds pretty formal, but when we were chatting with the folks, at least we tried to make it a little less formal, like a job interview, So it kind of sounds like it might be that. It might sound a little intimidating. And that's like, I don't know if, I don't know if that'll impact anyone, but when, we tried to actually just make it pretty chill when chatting with folks.
I wonder, if they come to our meetings, they could talk to us informally afterwards. Like if we were to go to Portico afterwards, or if they come to an event we're tabling, I don't know if there will be one at the time that this is open, then they could talk to us informally. But we might want to try to have some opportunity for people to mingle with members of the committee.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, is it like, would it be okay to encourage people who are interested to attend a meeting? Like throw that out there, like, hey, come to a meeting. It's a public meeting. If we have public comment, we have the room, we have space. Folks can come in online. That's helpful, I think.
Well, I can say something that I kind of like that it wasn't a requirement the last time around to have attended certain numbers of meetings, because that was one thing that kept me from joining in the past.
Yeah.
It's I can do it when I'm a committee member, but to make time for it and shuffle your life around.
I was
trying to be on it.
I think different. That's good that it's gone. I was saying just basically come to a meeting casually, not
if you
have to come to a meeting, but not make it a requirement.
Yeah.
But just, we like it when the public comes to meetings, and I think it's not a requirement, but it could also make it feel a little bit more comfortable doing the process if they see us and we're not scary. At least I don't think so. So I don't know. Maybe that's something we could do on social media. Say, hey, come to a meeting if you want to. We can share the call to membership for membership. So yeah. Anyone else have any comments? All right. Hearing none, I think we have a little action item, and we'll have that ready for the next meeting. And unless there's nothing else on that, looks like we actually have time for city update for the first month in 3 months or something. I feel like.
I will share the link to the PTAC call just for reference in the chat.
Oh, cool.
In case anyone's interested. Looking at that for inspiration. Okay. All right, so early in the year, but already mobility is kicking off. It's our first outreach event of 2026, of many to come. So I think, Rishika, you're more familiar with this event.
Oh, yeah. We'll be at the Three Kings celebration, which is where we'll be sharing information with largely Spanish and Portuguese speaking community of Somerville. It's really fun, and they have a lot of fun activities and food if anyone wants to come out in East Somerville. But that's the start, and like Adrian said, she sent over a calendar, so we're also working internally on a calendar, and we'll share updates as we know more for the rest of the year. Sounds great.
We've got a few project updates. Most of the projects are either currently in design with mobility, or we're reporting on previous community engagement activities that we have had. So Beacon Connector, no updates there. Still expecting the final design early this year, and expecting to begin installation of that project a little bit later this year as well. Somerville Ave, we completed the first round of community engagement in the fall, and are in the initial design development for that, which will take place through the fall that already happened, and then the winter that we're currently in. And then the Community Path Safety Improvements Project, which we discussed at the committee recently. We just published the community engagement report for the engagement that was done at the end of last year. So definitely check that out if you're interested in learning about what the community had to say.
One question about the community path. I saw a few months ago, Director Coastal Wave shared an update about the School Street crossing to City Council. Do we anticipate, or will there be more information in a city update sometime soon, or is there any feedback from the committee that'll be helpful about fixing the School Street crossing?
Yeah, I would expect that probably in the coming months will be a good time for the committee to discuss that. The sort of internal design development is still progressing, and it's not quite at the stage where we're ready to seek formal community input, but that will be upcoming. Great. So yeah, it's definitely on our radar and something that we discussed at our officers meeting to come back to the committee with when we're at that point. So similar sort of place with the Complete Streets project, continuing on the work that we had been doing last month. The major construction work on Tough Street has wrapped up for the season. There may still be some final drainage work taking place this winter, and then the remaining sidewalk and streetscape work will start back up in the spring. On West Broadway, drainage work and utility work with the Eversource utility project that's going on there are going to continue through the winter, and then the major sidewalk and street reconstruction work is anticipated to begin in the spring.
I can confirm that the drainage work is continuing through the winter and is happening now.
Yeah,
lots of plates, lots of metal plates in the dark, keeping me on my toes. But I really do. Every time I go over a metal plate, I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be so good. This is gonna be so necessary, and it's just like it's such a blight, like on your way to Holland Street, which is really nice. And I just feel like it's going to be such a compliment to Holland. And then hopefully at some point in the future, Teal Square gets figured out proper. It's still difficult to take a left from the top of Holland to my home. But yeah, that's going to be really great. And I'm glad that it's at least slated to begin pretty soon. So that's very exciting. Exciting city update for me. Is Tough Street gonna get any like markings, like pavement markings, like greenback sharrows or anything, or is it just got the? Is that it's two-way? I can't remember.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
There
just gonna be the chicanes.
Yeah, there are there will be points where it is a yield street.
Okay.
I am not recalling if there are any pavement markings like a sharrow.
I know we talked about this, and
Yeah.
I don't remember either. So
Is this neighborhood?
Oh,
Right.
Jing!
I think they'll be in the neighborhood.
Those are the purple.
Ponytail.
Right, yeah.
Nice.
Is purple gonna be the general neighborways color throughout the city?
Yeah.
It is. With the ponytail, right? With like the long hair instead of the short hair.
I knew it was purple on the recent ones in East Somerville. I wasn't sure if that was like citywide or different.
No, it comes over to the west
Yeah,
too.
color.
Yes, we have some purple in the west. Cool. Excellent. I haven't been on Tufts, but I have seen. Yeah, pictures and whatnot. So.
Yeah, they've already done some really great sidewalk progress there. So this is one of the images of the sidewalk work that has been completed. I think most of the sidewalk on the south side is done already.
Yeah, on the side that had a narrow, bulky sidewalk before, it looks mostly done, other than a few short sections, and on the part that mostly didn't have a sidewalk before, it also looks mostly done.
exciting stuff happening there. For our 2 Complete Streets projects that are in design, Western Pearl, we again had a large outreach effort in the fall, and design materials are all linked in the slide deck that was sent around. Community engagement report from that. Those outreach efforts has also been published, so check that out too, and expecting the final designs for that project in early this year. Broadway Lagoon is tracking a year behind Western Pearl Street, and so haven't had any designs published for that project yet. In the fall, we had the initial community outreach where we were hearing from the community about the issues that they experience on the street and things that people would like to see here. So the initial design for that is also anticipated in the early part of this year.
Busy.
Yeah, and be on the lookout for the community engagement report from the initial feedback period for that project.
Awesome.
And lastly, for our major infrastructure projects, McGrath Boulevard, we discussed at the last meeting, and the committee compiled comments to send to the state team, but the materials are now up on the web if anybody's interested in checking those out. The 75% design, the next iteration of the design for that project is expected later this year. And then no major updates on the other major state projects. Mystic Mafa still continuing. 2838 mostly wrapped up or entirely wrapped up for the season, and no updates on the Mystic River Bike Head Bridge, but those materials from the October meeting are also available online. That's what we got for the city update.
I had a question that I was waiting to see if there's anything about it, and there isn't, but I'm still gonna ask it. Have you gotten any feedback from the work at Central Street and Somerville with, because I bike on it all the time now, so
I've been on it.
I've used it a lot, so I don't know. I would be curious, other people's, if they've had experiences with it. I used to have to turn left and go up Central Street a lot, and now I come through there on my way back from Union like twice a week, and so I've been going through it mostly at this point, not like inbound, but yeah, I'm curious if you've gotten any feedback or if anyone on the committee has feedback that has used it.
I was worried about the right turn that I make onto Central, and I can do it fine, so that's good.
Yeah, I think most of the feedback that we have heard has been positive, especially around the raised crossing. This was a project that was managed by the engineering team, so I think most of the community engagement and feedback has filtered through them. But yeah, most of what we heard has been positive. I don't believe I've heard any major complaints about like intersection operations breaking down or anything.
I have a comment. So this, I don't know if it could be solved by a sign, or at least could be addressed with a sign. I think being in the separated, like, bumped into the sidewalk area, people that are making the right onto Central Street in front of you, like if you're heading towards Porter Square on Somerville Ave,
And you're not turning in there.
you're going straight and the people are going there. I think being separated is great, but also it kind of gives an illusion that like you're not going to actually be like on the like intersecting with this driver. I don't know. Like I feel like it's like maybe a little visibility thing. Like there could be a sign that's basically like yield to oncoming ped and bike. Like as you see that, because I think sometimes it's like, oh, the driver is like, oh, they're on the sidewalk, they're away, I can just make the turn. They're not like right there. And I don't think it's like necessarily a like visual thing, like they're blocked and can't see it. It's almost like there's this distance, and I've found that people are kind of making that right, coming close to like a right hooking, and it feels to me like they're not seeing me as part of the equation just because of that like distance. So I love that obviously throughout the whole thing, but then I'm like noticing that it kind of separates you, and I don't know, I haven't had like terrible close calls, but I'm like always looking and anticipating the person to just kind of go. I'm on the lookout.
To like show the pathway, like some of them have across the intersection.
I think it has the cross but or the green.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Conflict markings. Yeah, it does have that, and it's very. I mean, it's all new. It's very shiny and very good. And the intersection means that at least like, you know, there's the speeds are low when all this is happening.
It's a sharper turn now, right? Like
Yes. And I don't know. That's just like sounds maybe like vibes, but also I'm like a little bit. I don't know if there could be like, you know, watch for, because I know they exist. The signs like, you know, watch for peds and bikes when, you know, when they have like the green that allows you to turn across.
Yeah. So when you're biking
Towards
across
border.
Central now,
Yes.
You feel more at risk of getting right hooked.
Yeah, I feel a little less like visible or relevant to the driver. Like it just feels like they might not fully get that I'm going to be right there and they need to wait for me. And I hate to say it, like in door zone bike lanes, it's just you're closer, and so it's sort of like more obvious. Not great. It's terrible. It's a terrible reason for it to be obvious, but like you're right there. So I think. Again, I don't think it's like an actual like vision. Like I don't think there's any blocking because of like the sight lines or anything like that. Or maybe it's just like you're a little bit removed from the driver's vision of the situation that is at hand.
Are there any like problems with placing a sign that states something that's already the law? Like, I think I've never thought about this. Like,
I mean,
so
that's
does that
what
mean
all the
if
signs are,
if
right?
they come across like another location that doesn't have that sign,
I mean,
are
it's
they
a
gonna
thing
think, oh, I
that
can write a
Suzanne Rinfret is like sign guru of the city.
Yeah, there is.
About where they go and whatnot.
We try to be consistent across similar conditions in the city. I mean, obviously every intersection and every location is a little bit different, so there may be, even if it's a similar condition, there may be a reason to put a sign in one place where you wouldn't in another, and I think, you know, we could look at that on a case-by-case basis, so I think that's good feedback for us to take back and like evaluate.
Because the sign even would just reflect, like something that like is a little bit attention catching, because it's a little dark there too. Because I'm coming back in the dark. But yeah, I do it like twice a week now, and I hadn't done it that much before. And now that there's the new stuff, I was like, yeah, because I love the speed tables. I feel like there should be speed. I think every pedestrian crosswalk should be raised and well lit, because drivers aren't stopping anymore. They're not stopping for pedestrians anymore. I don't know like what happened in the past 6 months, but like, and not just in Somerville, it's just like a total breakdown of like realizing like you need to actually come to a calculated stop when you see someone doing the thing, you know, making the eye contact. Anyway, I don't want to go off on a rant, but I love the speed table or the speed hump. And, you know, signs are signs, but I think maybe something there a little ring-a-ding, pay attention.
Do you feel like
piece of flair.
Are other facilities that are similar where you don't have that feeling? I'm thinking like Western Washington Street, which is also a raised bike lane, where you know could have a similar condition. And I'm wondering if that
I don't think
There's
it's the
something that
raised
feels
nature
different.
of anything there. I think it's just the unfortunately being in the separated bike lane is like, it just feels like the drivers are just feeling like you're not going to be a problem because you're on the sidewalk or something. But I don't know. That's just, I haven't felt that anywhere else. It's a specific feeling.
The turns on Western Washington Street are not major streets like they are at Central Street.
Yeah, there's a lot of
So
people.
if you're a car that's turning, you might be more cautious.
And they're
Well, I don't know
also
if
coming from like
I don't know
hard.
if that statement is exactly accurate. Maybe there are some major turns there.
Like there's like a high volume of traffic that is coming from Park Street and then immediately making the right up Central. And that's just a janky little move. And so drivers might be like, get me out of here. Like even more wanting to just be done with it all and make the left, make the right, you know, others be damned or whatever. But yeah, it's just like my feedback on something that otherwise is awesome. And I want to see it grow out, those little treatments.
Yeah, we'll definitely,
All up and down Somerville Ave.
we will pass that along to the
Yes.
project team and,
Yes.
ask if, if we can think
See,
about.
maybe they go through and see
something
how they
else
feel,
that can-
see
yeah.
if they feel the same way.
Appreciate that.
My sign that I wish was everywhere is bikes go with pets in all-way pet intersections. That's the sign I wish I could see everywhere, because it is somewhere. You can see it somewhere, and it's like, well, if bikes can go with pets, like then police don't have to stand there and like give tickets,
There's
and
one
everyone
at,
can manage
School
themselves.
Street up
Well,
at
it's because
First
you
Street,
can't
so
see
good
the light.
presence.
Because you're on the
Case
other
by
end,
case
yeah.
basis, but everyone
But yeah, I like it.
you
Also.
can. Anyway, that's getting derailed, but no, signs can be good. Yeah, I feel like there was like one. Yeah, and I don't know. Anyone else have anything to say about the city updates and anything Central Street experience? All right, and just like one thing that I kept forgetting at the officers meeting and then forgot today now is there any interest from the committee in meeting with anyone from the new administration, and is that something that like is done or can be done or is recommended to be done? Like did PTAG do anything similar? Like has there been a sit down with like, you know, PTAG or is it something that we could do, that we could organize, talk with the incoming administration about SBAC's goals?
Yep.
Ask what their goals are. I don't know.
Yeah.
Any interest in doing that? And then, I mean, we can organize that. And basically, unless there's any sort of reason that isn't like that it's frowned upon or anything, or if there's like some preordained way to do it, or
Not that I have heard. I can definitely take the question back and ask if there is a more formal way that request should be made.
Yeah.
But it may, I can ask if there's like a preferred way to do that, but.
Yeah. I feel like it was really nice to hear from John Link and like have him like reach out and say he's excited to be involved. And it's like, well, it would be nice to, you know, let the mayor and let you know his staff and know what SBAC is about and how, you know, we want to work with the city and how we hope the larger, you know, city apparatus sees us as partners to work with. Alex.
Lena, I would also be interested in the converse of that, which is hearing from mobility on what the mayor's new like bike, where his bike priorities are. That would be also, I think, quite valuable.
To this point, we haven't heard anything that has caused us to change our priorities. So
yeah, I don't think immediate ones, but I was thinking like whether Highland's on the agenda, Highland Ave is on the priority list or not for him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I've envisioned this as that we would set our side of the agenda. Like, what would SBAC want to know going into the meeting, and then things like that would come from that conversation, I would hope. Like information about what the plans are in more details than just sort of like election blurbs about goals and stuff like that. Like actually how it might get done, whatever it may be. I'm out of water.
Yeah, I would say, Alex, we don't have information that specific yet. I think it's still very early.
They just got in. They just were all the induction ceremony was like last week, right?
Yeah, Saturday, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I am not expecting anything yet, but I'm like thinking later this year that would be kind of a very useful thing, so we can help advise on that in the context of those priorities, and or if it's more useful to do what Lena's describing, where it's like a kind of sit down.
Yeah, well, I'll take back the interest in
Yeah.
meeting with the new administration and follow up with you, Lena, on what we learned about what's the best way to
Yeah,
do
like
that.
are other city groups doing it? Like if they
Yeah,
are,
I'm not sure.
we should do it too.
Yeah, that's a good question.
So I just wanted to gauge interest from the committee in wanting to do that at all. And if so, then we can work it out, schedule it. Sound good? I know this was like an extra secret agenda bullet point, and I was like, oh no, I forgot. Yes, that's all that I had. And if that is that, then we've got some homework for the next meeting, and we'll be back on our regular schedule. And yeah, the new year will be officially underway.
We do have one member of the public, so I just want to allow the opportunity for public comment before we adjourn. Just dropped.
Okay. Scared away. Put him on the spot. All right, cool. Then I guess are we doing this? We're doing can I make a motion to adjourn, please? Someone
move to adjourn.
Thank you. Can I get a second? Thanks, Tom. All right, all in favor of adjourning? Bye, everybody. See you next month.
Sure.